Hello, everybody! Once again, this is Cheshire the Cat back at it with Planescape Torment. Last time I fell asleep and I totally forgot what we were doing. So let's get into the gameplay, shall we? We want to resume life. And Mort just decided to level up as soon as I returned. Awesome. Mort is also a fighter. Now, unlike the Nameless one, we're just going to jump right in here. Unlike with the Nameless one, Mort's stats just kind of go up on his own. And that is nice. Believe it or not, this tiny little talking skull that likes to really chat it up is also our tank. Those who don't know RPG terms, that means he takes all the hits. I'll be able to hopefully show off that special skill of his another time. But for now, we want to bring up our journal. So, this journal, along with our map, is probably going to be one of the most useful tools in playing Planescape Torment. Mainly in that the Nameless one, if you recall, has a bad habit of forgetting things whenever he dies. And he died very recently. So, in his attempt to find one journal he's already written, he is actually on the pursuit, or he's actually continuing to write a new journal in the meantime. So right now our quests are to find Farad and the missing journal, which are our two main quests. We also have the side quest of finding out where Farad gets the bodies, and the matter of the Walking Dead in the mausoleum. Now, I've done the mausoleum quest before, and I know for a fact that I'm not strong enough to go in there just yet, at least not on my own. So, what we're going to do is pursue a little bit more of Sigil, meet more of the townsfolk. Bane the Sender. I'm not going to bother talking to that guy because, frankly, you know what? I'm going to talk to that guy because I think he just steals my money. Let's see. You see a heavy-set man with sharp features and a pained expression. Despite his huge frame, however, he has an effeminate look about him, and unlike the other residents you've seen, he looks to have bathed recently. As you approach, he looks up, hopefully, and calls out in a high Craddock, good sir? What? Eh. 1,000 apologies, good sir, if I've given offense. I am called Bane the Sender, the third child of Dai Bane the Sender. I am one of the many runners employ of the House of Senders. Apologies necessary. What do you want? 1,000 apologies for troubling you with such a trivial matter, but I seek Craddock, an overseer in the hive. But alas, he eludes me. Could it be that you've heard of such a man? I'm sorry I haven't. I am bound to deliver a message to him, and yet fortune has chosen not to favor me. I can help you. If I come across the man, I'll pass along your message. Oh, fortunate day for Bane and the House of Senders! Any assistance you can provide is welcome. If you find this Craddock, pass along the message, and I shall see it that you get paid for your trouble. Alright, what is the message? Shipment must be incursed by the third day, or there will be a penalty. I am told that Craddock will know of the shipment in which the message pertains. Craddock, I'll pass along the message. Is there anything you can tell me about him so that might help me find him? He is said to be a giant of a man, stern of features, that he is an overseer of one of the hive marketplaces. Alas, I know little else than that, good sir. I see, that's enough to go on for now. Sir, should fortune favor you, and thank you. Should fortune favor you, and you are able to bear the message to Craddock, be so kind as to return and tell me of it. I will see to it that your efforts are rewarded. Farewell, Bane. Updated my journal. So, we are going to continue pursuing these random side quests with the lovely hive dwellers. Hopefully without getting mugged. I would deeply appreciate that. And here we are at the Memorial Stone. An obsidian monument with many names chiseled onto it. So these are actually people that we'll want to talk to down the road. Sevtai. Woman's face looks broken. She's covered in scars and looks like bark marks and finger cuts. That's greetings. Skip back! I apologize, my phone updated in like 13 different ways at once. Excuse me. No, no, and no. Okay, skip back! The woman's teeth peel back and display a row of black canines. What do you want of Sevtai? What's the matter? What's wrong? Those chaos men wrecked my cart, attacked me, and killed 3 of my sisters who tried to stop them. Not sisters anymore. Now there's nothing but names on this memorial wall. Chaos men? Chaos men, a faction, they says. What they are is an addled bunch that runs wild through the hives and does whatever they please. We never did no harm to them. Then they lope in like dogs and tear apart anything within their reach. Who are these chaos men who attacked you? They're a hive gang, a bunch of addled sods that call themselves the Starved Dogs Barking or some such barmy nonsense. So, what we are learning here is not only has she been attacked and had her things stolen by thugs, on top of that, that is a notice that, yeah, there are people in this town that will randomly mug you. And this is another quest that, quite frankly, I am not strong enough to take on. But, let's see. You got the copper, we'll talk the terms. Their actions are unjust. I wouldn't mind penning some men in the dead book for some coin. You got the copper, we'll talk the terms. A copper earring in your purse if you pen 3 of those murdering sods in the dead book. Jig. Another translation for this speech, jig, is like, alright. Some of these words actually kind of translate themselves based on where they sit in a sentence. I'll see to it that they're put in the dead book. Can you tell me where they might be found? Go out the south gate spyward from here. Then walk around the book the block, blah 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 blah. I'm gonna attend English class. Until you comes to a place where the men run in circles howling at the sig sky. There the starved dogs are. I'll go look for them. Better write that down. Alright, Quentin. Quentin Tarantino! Is that you? The man looks over at a glance. There's room, Cutter. No need to ask my leave. Ask my leave to stand here. Actually, I want to know what this monolith was. It's a tombstone for the plains. He scuffs. Graveyards of names and scratched on that rock. Can only hope my name's the one that'll split this stone in twain. He points at the base of the monolith. Quentin, right there. Hammered in hard enough to send the damned things crashing down. Tombstone for the plains. Aye, the Dusties scratch the names of the dead on the monument right here. He gestures around him. And on the walls of this place, not enough space by my reckoning, but no matter. They do their best, can barely read half the names. What are you doing here? Reading the new arrivals, try and find a new one every day and try to remember if I knew 'em, nothing more. Doesn't record the names of all that have died on this monument. Aye, they scratch 'em on this rock, and they scratch 'em on the walls in this place too. Yeah, okay, there we go, I've already said that. I don't think the Dusties don't have more care for the living. Interesting, because the Dustmen are mostly fascinated with death. Aye, you know about the Dustmen mourners that come to this place? They aren't mourning the dead, you see. They're mourning the living. You can barely get a word in them edgewise without 'em asking to mourn some poor living Burke for you. Why mourn the living? You got me there, Cutter. Might want to put the question to them. Seems to me the dead are thrice worth the pity any poor sod living in this pit. Every name on there is blessed in my book, it is. Ever know anybody who came back after their name was put on here? You mean come back from death? Not a one, Cutter. Everything that lives dies, and that's the way of things. Still, considering the plains go on forever and all, I suppose anything's possible. I see. Thanks. Yeah, I don't think he really has a quest for me so much as just an explanation of stuff. Now we've got Death of Names, who is a dustman that is assigned with carving names in here. Greetings. Dustman eyes slide over to you. Name. The way he speaks the words, it sounds like a tolling of a bell. I don't know. No name, no name. Can't help you. Dustman speaks in a curious sing-song voice. Need to give a name if you want to see where it's died. What? Given a name when you're born, give it back when you need it no more. Death of names, death of names. I'm going to give him a different voice because it doesn't quite fit. His eyes swim across the monolith and the walls of the area. Buried many names here, Death of Names has. Tell me a name, I'll show you its grave. Well, how about Dayanara? His eyes roll to the back of his head, then pop back. With a wild gleam, his eyes run across the walls of the monument, scanning the names in inhuman speed. This section of the wall. Buried. Examine the spot he's pointing at. Just in the black stone, in a tiny cramped writing, you see the name you requested. It is almost lost beneath the sea of names above it. I had another name. Adon. Not dead yet. The name is not buried here. Not time, not time. Let me try another name. Doll. Not dead yet, not dead yet. Very well, sorry to disturb you. Interesting, so you can put the names of people on there if you want to, but the only way you're going to do that is by making sure you've got the copper. Now, I actually want to go... Well, no, there's someone I want to meet, someone else I want to talk to, because she is an interesting character. There she is. Anna. You see a striking red-haired girl dressed in leather armor. Her right arm is covered with a series of interlocking plates that look as if they were taken from the skin of some creature, and a horned shoulder piece protects her left arm. Oddly enough, she has a tail, flicking back and forth as you watch. Pike off! Greetings. The girl ignores you. Who are you? Can you tell me where I am? Who are you? Girl sneers and makes an obscene gesture with her tail. Pike off, you clueless sod. Hey, easy. I had some questions. Hey, and what is it you want? Can you tell me where I am? You're lost, but you're about to find trouble. Make yourself lost somewhere else, blubber. I had other questions. I'm looking for a man named Farad. Do you know where I can find him? I might. I might have said more if you were to sweeten the question, aye? Chink chink, aye? Chink chink. She means money. Oh. Aye? That's a Morte. What the skull said. Hard coin. Alright. How much? How much is it you want to know, aye? Come on, I haven't got all day, I haven't. I've only got 30 copper, so how about 20? Aye, alright then. It's gone so quickly, no idea finished. Look for him in the alley skyward of the mortuary. That's to the south and west of the mortuary, aye? Now you're gonna notice, she's actually giving you the wrong information. Because remember that quest I had taken earlier mentioned something about Farad being under the town, under the Ragpicker Square. But she has a very good reason for doing that. South and west of the mortuary. Farewell. That's one of their debtors. Which is why I'm actually going to go up here. I gave her some coin. Do not worry, I will get it back. But for now, we have a new section of Sigil to explore. I told you this map's pretty big, and quite frankly, it is actually easy to get lost. So I spend a good chunk of the game just walking around where I can. As you'll remember, Okay, hold up. Oh. Oh wow, this was actually this section. Alright, cool, let's go in the flophouse. It's a small dwelling. We have a centaur, a nestor, briar. So we have 2 people with names in here, 3 people with names. What you got there, Arlo? You see a short, balding man standing in the stairs of the foyer of the ramshackle house. He appears to be. Have scabs on his large, bulbous nose. Picks out what appears. Ugh. The man doesn't bother to look up. Instead, he continues to stare cross-eyed at his nose. Yeah, what do you want? I had some questions. Well, ain't that nice? He flashes you a sarcastic yellow tooth smile. And I'm sure you'll find your answer someday, but I've got me a business to run, so if you don't want a bed, I suggest you pike off. Never mind then. Nestor. You see an aging man in soiled, tattered clothes frantically pacing in the corner. His shock of filthy white hair sticks out in every direction, and his face encrusted with dirt and streaks of dried blood. It's covered with gray stubble. Every few seconds he stops pacing and flails about suddenly, muttering and cursing as if assaulted by some unseen foe. He does not seem to notice your approach. Greetings. At the sound of your voice, the old loon whirls around about to face you, wide, staring eyes bulging in their sockets. He regards you for a brief moment, then returns to his raving. No, no, no! It's not you! Oh, but soon, yes, soon. Who are you talking to? The old man seems oblivious to your presence. Oh, he'll come. Yes, he'll come. And old Nestor will be waiting. Waiting? Who are you waiting for? Waiting. Yes. Suddenly plops down on the floor as if overcome by exhaustion. Long have I waited. Waiting. He takes a deep breath and springs back to his feet. Wait forever if I have to. Do you hear me? Are you all right? No! My fork. Can't leave without my fork. Whew. Fork, fork, fork. Your fork. Fork, 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 fork. Can't go home without my fork. Mister's frenzy reaches a violent crescendo. He begins hopping up and down maniacally, then suddenly stops and lowers his head and runs headlong into a large wooden cupboard and stands against the back wall of the flophouse. The force of the impact knocks the old man flat on his back. After a few seconds, he stands back up, dazed expression on his face. Gun! Stolen! Can't go home without my fork. Stolen, you say? Who took your fork? Nestor stares at you for a moment, then begins rummaging through the pockets of his filthy tunics. After a few seconds, he produces what appears to be a dismembered ear. Ugh! Judging by the stench and color of his ear, you'd wager that the old loon has been toting it around in his pocket for some time. You have my fork! Don't you! Don't you! Ooh! He holds the ear close as if speaking to it. Bring back my fork! Maybe I can help you. Waiting! Ooh! He shakes the ear violently and shouts into it. Until you bring it back, then I can go home! Right, I'll try to find your fork then. Farewell. This game's full of nut bars. Let's talk to a centaur. You see the tall figure of a creature standing before you. The lower body resembles that of a goat. However, I forget what they were called. However, just above its forelegs, it shapes a more human appearance. A man's torso, arms. Greeting. It appears to be sleeping. Let the creature sleep. I am not waking him up. I don't want to deal with a moody centaur. And now, you'll know our main storyline is... I'm not interested in you right now. Our main resource has us going up here to the Ragpicker Square. But instead, I'm actually going to go down here and explore more of Sigil. This episode is going to mostly be us together, hopefully together, wandering the streets of Sigil and learning of the many people that live here. I don't know, can you really call this living? Oh hey, we found the marketplace. So now, we have a chance at finding Kodak, who is around here somewhere. They described him as a giant of a man. Craddock, there he is. Okay, I'm going to do myself a favor and save, because I do not want to get Craddocked. Good enough. Huge man watching the area with a tight-lipped frown and narrowed eyes. He is hunched slightly, as if bearing a heavy load on his shoulders. The unpleasant smell of sweat and dirt wafts from his clothes. Greetings. Aye, what you sniffing around here for? You Craddock? Mayhap. If I am, who be it you? I come with a message from Bane the Sender. The message states the shipment must be incursed by the third day, or there will be a penalty. By the hells, can there be such fools that they think we can miracle it there? All right then, your message has found its way to the right ears, for all the good it will do. What's the problem? Look around you! These laggards and halfwits can barely keep up with the load as it stands, and now it needs doing in half the time. Do you need help? I'll tell you what I need. All my men to show up for work. July's gone missing since this morn, and I need him back now. July, where'd he go? That hive-bred goat is probably passed out on the street somewhere by the smoldering corpse, when he should be helping us. Worthless sod. I could go find him for you. Oh, you could you? And now why would you do that? See, I like this as well, because there's so many games out there that do this roleplay element, and it's like, oh, thank you, hero. Oh, you're a wonderful hero. But here, everyone is suspicious. If you're going to do something nice, they immediately look at you and go, oh, what's the catch? Which is actually quite healthy to have in the real world. At least in my personal experience, it's healthy to live with just a little bit of doubt. Just a little bit. A healthy amount. You need the help, don't you? It doesn't sound like you can spare the time to go looking for him, and there's work to be done. Aye. You find Jalal, you tell him to drag his worthless, bud-ridden hide here. I'll pay you for your trouble when you found him. Now get. Likely at the smoldering corpse. Where is that? South and east of here. Head through the southeast gate, then head east for about a block. It's got a mess of drunks outside. Can't miss it. July is most likely somewhere around there. Alright, I'll go look for him. Farewell. So now one side quest has gone to another. I've completed one, and now I have another to go through. And these are all merchants selling their goods, selling their wares. There's a bunch of people going on here, but for the time being, I mostly want to get these maps as far out as I can, because there's actually more than one market to this. Ooh! Okay, hold on. This is actually a very special one. I want to talk to her. Why don't you come chat with me for a bit? Greetings. Oh, maybe I can help you. Now you look to be a blood who's lost something. Maybe I can help you find it? Oh? What a good fortune. We probably lost what you're looking for back at the kit, miss. Maybe you can help me find what I'm missing, miss. About good. Yeah, you'll find Mort's talking to this one. Miss. It's a matter of a finder's fee. I had some questions. Unless you got the jink to pay for my time, I can pay you. How much? 7 coppers, no more. Other questions of deeper chant will cost you more. Sounds fair, I have 7 commons. Now, there's something I want to know. Can you tell me about this city? City? What about it? What is it? What's Sigil, you mean? It does the city beneath your feet rise into either side of you? She makes visitors' stomach gallop, it does. What exactly is Sigil? Center of the plains, to hear it told, if you can believe that wash. So, they keep talking about the plains. This game is even called Planescape Torment. So, when they are talking about the plains, there are, as I recall, 9 planes to the 9 D&D alignments, which go from good to evil and lawful to chaotic. So the 9 planes are referring to lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good, lawful neutral, true neutral, chaotic neutral, lawful evil, neutral evil, and chaotic evil. And we'll be getting into more detail about that down the road. I just felt like that's something worth explaining because that's actually going to be really important as the game goes on. So why is it wash? Well, now, love, according to the greybeards and scholars and governors and all the rest of them rattling their brain boxes, they say the plane's going forever. Who's to say where the center really is? I had some questions. Can you tell me what's of interest around here? Depends on your interest, Cutter. Yeah, this is funny. I'm looking for a good time. I already made you an offer, love, and it's not an unfair price. Don't you know nowhere else that might be enjoying delights you have with me? What else around here is of interest? I'm looking for work. You're asking me? What you think? I'm coming one of the sisterhood out of you? She nearly buckles over in laughter. The screeching is similar to a drunken harpy's. Eventually, the gales of laughter subside, and she takes a deep breath. Yeah, the rich man, are you? Fine, I had some other questions. Looking for a man named Varad. Ah, now that's one of the greater darks, love. If you want to know about that blood, that'll be thrice the copper normal asking. I don't have enough. I did have other questions. Actually, never mind. Farewell. When you're lost and your title isn't things, need find some things, love, come see me. Keep that in mind. Chief, can you... Oh, here we go. Chief, can you spot me some drink? It's, been a long time, it has. I suppose it can't hurt. Twice the cost for the Mimir, or any degenerate. Mimir? Mimir is a talking encyclopedia. That's me, Chief. I see. Well, don't sweat it. Mort, from the looks of her, I'm probably saving you from dying twice. You pox shrivel your innards! You have the stinking fashion sense of a goatherd, and you're twice as ugly! So that actually bore a purpose! I needed to tick her off! Because now, Mort is learning new words! Mort stares, hypnotized, as the harlot lets loose a stream of obscenities. At the end of the verbal avalanche, Mort is silent for a moment and then turns to you. Wow, Chief, got a few more taunts for the old arsenal. He turns back to I'm also in love. And we leave Skull. So, Mort's whole thing, I mentioned him being a tank earlier. What he does is he charges up to enemies and insults the daylights out of them. And now, you might be wondering how exactly is that effective as a tank? I want you to imagine, if you will, a wizard casting a giant meteor spell that will probably wipe out your entire party. And this tiny little floating skull just goes up to him and goes, Hey, your wand's made of driftwood. And the wizard just kind of stares at him and is just like, charging the spell, and oop, I'm under attack. Is it just one of them? Okay, I gotta let him hit me first. Okay, now go for it. See, if I attack him first, then I get in trouble. But now I can kill him. Because he hit me first. I am superior. Anyway, wizard casting a spell, starting to get a little annoyed. And so, the skull floats even closer and goes, Hey, where'd you land your spell? The back of a cereal box? Wizard's starting to get real annoyed, but he's still charging that spell. And looks at him and finally just, I'm sure I've seen your spells on the better side of toilet paper. The wizard will just break his wand in half and want to go to fisticuffs with the skull. He is a distractor, and he can take a hit. That is the absolute perk of Morte. And he is very good at his job, and we can make him even better by just teaching him new insults on a regular basis. So that comes in very handy. And now I've got more thugs on my back. No, why are you focusing on the one nameless one? Come on. Let him run away like a coward. I still get experience for that. Alright, now you see how these guys have red circles on them? That's how I know they're a threat. And they attacked me first. So boom. These coppers, now mine. Now, that is meant to send an important message your way, just in the fact that anyone at any time can really screw with you. Now, where I am right now, if I recall correctly, I am at the Smoldering Corpse Bar, which, if you remember, mentioned we were trying to find a man named July. Chili? It would be. Yeah, Mort was just letting me know that we're being watched. if you stand in a spot long enough, eventually you will just get dialogue bits from your party members. Now, this burning man in the middle here, Ignis, I will say this right now, he can become one of your party members down the road. I personally did not have him as a party member, and I was fine without him. There are of the 6 party members that you can have, there are 8 options. 8 options, I want to say. Yeah. Ignis is one of them. I mentioned those affiliations earlier, the 9 affiliations. When you start this game, or alignments, you start off as true neutral. You're nothing more than a brand new babu, fresh in the world. Morte, on the other hand, is a prime example of these, where he is chaotic good. He does what he believes is right. Doesn't always mean it's right, it just kind of winds up being right. Now, we are looking for a man by the name of July first. Ooh, Dakon. I'll want to talk with him in a moment. But I am first going to look to... Okay, if he's not in here, let's take a look outside. I'll come back and earn Dakon in the next... I'll come back and have Dakon be our conversation in the next episode. Oop, I'm being mugged. And now they're dead. Rusty Dagger. Better than nothing. Alright, so, oop, there's our guy. Hey. You see a thin man with stained clothes, a hooked nose, and 2 stubby horns jutting out of his forehead. He's stumbling about, muttering himself. He stinks of brine, vomit, and cheap wine. That's a nice way of saying the dude is completely sh-wasted. Not wasted, sh-wasted. Are you July? So Craddock needs you back in the marketplace. Craddock? Ah, Craddock, me generous boss. Well, you can tell him this. It can bike off. And he's a filthy dog of a cur, the lowest sort, and July's not working for him anymore. Jabs you with his finger. Tell him that. I'll tell him from it. I'll tell him. Farewell, July. So, yeah, I'm being told that I'm being watched again, and I know I'm being followed. So we're just gonna go back to Craddock. Or I could let these guys attack Morte. Cowards. There's Craddock. I found July. Is that right? Where is he then? He said to pike off that you were the cur of the lowest sort and he wasn't going to work for you any longer. Craddock's face turns bright red and his face cracks into a snarl. Damned to be his name! May all the evils of the plains hound his footsteps! A blistering steam of insults, threats, and speculation about July's family roots issues from Craddock's mouth. So remember what I did with the hooker earlier, where Morte learns new insults? Ooh! Oh, you can almost hear him taking notes inside his skull. Finishes the trade with a grunt. I could fill in for him if you need help. Yeah? Ha! You couldn't. Well, maybe you can. It's hard work and there's no drinking on my watch. Understood, let's get started. So not only did I level up, give Morte a more enhanced version of his skill, but now I'm earning money through some good and honest work. Look at that, I've almost gotten back to my 30 copper after spending 27. And you did well. And you did well enough. Here's your pay. Now get, there's no more use for you. Farewell then. So, there's another reward that we have to collect. And we have to go We could just do that like I did just now. Or I can just click, close the map, and boom. They'll follow through. I love the auto walking in this game. Now, this game did recently come out for the Switch and the PS4. I don't know if it came out for the Xbox as well. But I highly recommend playing this on PC just because a cursor makes this game so much easier to navigate. Yes, I passed along your message, although it didn't seem to please him any. Seem to have heard a word after yes, smiles and a sigh of relief. Good fortune indeed! Thank you, good sir, thank you! He reaches in his robe, pulls forth a handful of coppers, which he counts and hands to you. 30 comes for delivering a message, eh? Fair enough. Now I have more money than I did before. Oh, more than fair, good sir. More than fair. I can say without hesitation that there is no finer profession in all of Sigil than that of a runner for the House of Senders. I'll keep that in mind. Farewell, Bane. Alright, so we have performed a series of messenger duties. We have explored a very big chunk of Sigil. And I'm just gonna make my way down here and around to the marketplace, sell some of the junk that I've been picking up. And then we'll be able to continue. Here, let me just sell some goods here real fast. I forget which one of these is actually the marketplace owner. What are you offering exactly? For sure, there are heads for that matter. One of these guys is an actual, like... what are you selling? Can I see what you have? Okay, cool. So I'm going to be able to... Aw, man. I'll sell that, I guess. Bummer. I don't want to sell the Cloud Charm because that's a healing item. I'll sell the Charcoal Charm because I don't have a need for it. At least I personally do not. And here's the thing, if I actually need something, I can come back and buy it later once I have the money. So for now, I'm done. I'm gonna switch my instant inventory around so I can get my healing items right away. I wanted that pry bar and that hammer. I'm gonna need both of those later on. In fact, just so I don't accidentally sell them. And there's the junk. And a hammer. Anything that's important, I'm gonna hold on to. Which could literally be anything. And I guess for now, I'm not much of a fighter. So I may as well just give myself a slightly better weapon. And we've performed our messenger tasks. Thank you very much for attending this episode, and I will see all of you soon again.